So, what a relief. We are here, we are gathered, and I want you to know we're family, okay? And to all you people out there, all of you who have felt alone, I have some really good news for you today. Um, and let me just, I should just go ahead and get started. But I just want to say in advance, I love you. I love that you're here to come and listen to this one in particular. I've been going through major changes over the last year. I've been getting deep and powerful initiations into the allies of the earth. And so the angels brought me into deep and powerful contact with the divine of the earth plane. So the spirits of the earth, the trees, the mountains, the elementals as well. I don't speak a lot of that about that publicly, but I'm telling you now, because it's in direct relationship to what we're talking about today and why we're talking about it. We're going to talk today about prophecy, the prophecies of many indigenous people around the world. We're going to talk about who you are. And let me just get my notes out. If you don't know who I am real quick, I'm a licensed psychotherapist by trade. I'm a best-selling author. I'm also the founder of the Angel Alchemy Academy. And so what changed everything for me, instead of just being a licensed psychotherapist, I had a miracle with the angels. And I witnessed a miracle. And I wrote about that miracle in my first book. And essentially that encounter set me on fire. Set me on mystical fire. My mystical spiritual abilities woke up. And so now I train intuitives and mystics all over the world on how to step into their spiritual power, connect with their ancestral roots, and develop relationships with the angels, nature, and other divine allies so that you can heal, thrive, and step into your sacred mission. So this picture right here, I might as well tell you, is a picture on my latest book, Angel Wealth Magic. And this picture happened about 2 months after I had a very powerful initiation with my nature's allies, with Condor Spirit and with the allies of the land up in Mount Shasta, where I have a retreat property. And usually for an author photo, it's like a headshot. And I just couldn't do it for this book. And my publisher is like, we will not accept this photo. No one can see your face. And I look, I'm not looking particularly ladylike. But it's not about being pretty, right? And when it comes to wealth and oh God, I'm gonna cry. All the blessings I've received, it's the head that stands above me that I give honor and respect. And I feel like this earthly figure, this Mother Earth, and we have depictions of her all over the world. She is waking up so intensely, and she is also bringing her children back awake. And so if you have been having an uptick in spiritual experiences, please know it's also our mother, our collective mother, that is coming back to life within our own psyche, within our hearts, and drawing us closer to her. And so I actually had to fight to keep this picture. And they were so sweet. They didn't really realize, how important it was to me to not be the center of attention, and that it's important that our allies and spirit is the center of attention in my life. And I hope in your life too. So this talk, this teaching, is to really help us and help you deconstruct the bullshit, essentially, that we have received from the toxic religious myths and superstitions. We've been spoon-fed these regarding our natural spiritual abilities, regarding literally who we are already and who we've always been. Like many of us are channeling, we just don't know it or call it that. A lot of people are born with the gift of seeing spirit. And a lot of people are drawn to things like divination, tools like oracle cards, runes, and all of those things. Those things have been demonized. we're going to talk about why I want to talk about it at this time on the planet. We want to help you let go of self-doubt and reclaim your spiritual power. That blueprint inside of you that was gifted to you, not just by God, but by your ancestors. We want to inspire you to listen to the prophetic call inside of you that's drawing you closer to nature, closer to angels, and closer to the divine. And we mean this in knowing that sometimes it's in the face of the people that you live with in your communities that are calling these practices still, after generations, demonic. Okay, we want to show you how and why it's important for you to enter into direct relationship and direct communication and to deepen that communication. So if you have communication now, there are deeper layers, deeper access, deeper medicine emerging for so many of us, so many of you. And I've talked to so many people lately, and they're saying they're getting new abilities. They're all of a sudden starting to be able to hear animals. Animals are like their animals or other people's animals, or see spirits or see lights. So we want to talk to you about why it's happening at this specific time. And I want to share and invite you to a new project that me and our team, our invisible team and my work team that we've been working on diligently behind the scenes to support the mission of that goddess's head that stood above me in that photo. So 3 key prophecies I want to talk about today. There are so many prophecies, I had to narrow it down. And I wanted to give you prophecies that aren't in the usual framework of the Western mind, just to kind of disrupt us a little bit and show us what other peoples are saying about this exact time on the planet for all of us. Because without these kinds of prophecies, without really looking deeper into our ancestral roots and to the ancestral roots of the people around the world, we lack meaning. Our intuition gets disconnected from our roots, and we go into self-doubt and we lose ourselves. So prophecy number 1 is the prophecy of the eagle and condor. And I just want to give great respect to the indigenous around the world who have kept their traditions, no matter truly in the face of extreme adversity with religious colonization, and the gift that they have done to share some of these prophecies with us and even to share some of their practices. And I ask all of us right now to double check and look that if you are engaging in traditional practices, that you honor and respect and acknowledge the people with which you've learned those practices from. Some of you are engaging in these practices and you don't even realize it because of colonization. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. So around the 16th century, people would dominate the eagle people. They said that the eagle people would dominate the world. So this one comes from South America, South American traditions, many of them actually. But in Peru, in the Quero people, the eagle people are the people of the north. And so the condor people, those who embodied intuitive and receptive wisdom, would be almost decimated. And then around 1990, there would be the begin of a cooperation, the period of cooperation where humanity is given a chance to bring back balance and mutual respect for each other, for our different ways, which will lead to a spiritual awakening and a new era of peace and prosperity. Now, that is in direct juxtaposition and opposition to the prophecies like we hear, the fear-based prophecies like the revelations and how a lot of people interpret those in the modern day. So peace and prosperity, okay? So spiritual awakening, we got folks in the South saying that. The prophecy of the white buffalo calf woman. This Lakota prophecy speaks of a time when a sacred woman will come to the people. Oh shit, I'm gonna start crying again. You know, as you can tell, I've been speaking with them a lot. So my heart is very intensely open and sensitive. So Okay. A sacred woman will come to the people at a time of great shift and transformation. She'll teach them ways of harmony and spiritual balance, leading to a new era of peace and prosperity. Here, her sign will be the birth of the white buffalo. In 1997, white buffalo calves spontaneously began coming back in a herd in Arizona against the odds and way against the numbers. And these were not albino. They just started sprouting out of nowhere. These are white calves with dark eyes. So both the elders and scientists took notice and are taking notice. The last prophecy I'll talk about today is the Toltec prophecy of the fifth sun. This prophecy speaks of a time of great transformation and spiritual awakening for humanity, leading to a new era of peace and prosperity. They call this the birth of the fifth sun, which marks a different era. And they mean this literally. They mean a new sun is literally born instantly. And this new sun process, according to their timetable, was set to begin in 1991 and culminating on May 26th, 2021, suspiciously around the time of COVID, when we know the world that we lived in went all the way off the hinges. So what does this mean for you? It means you're alive at an incredible time on the planet, and it's not an accident that you're here today. It's not an accident that you were born during this time period. And it means that in this new world, folks like you and I are the hope. We are the bringers of good news to our families, to our community, and even the world. Shit, I'm going to cry again. Oh, okay. Let's hope I can get through this. So, though many are afraid of the future right now, the angels in spirit today want to give you their message. And it's a different message than so many of the messages getting puppeted out there right now, those fear-based ones. So I channeled this. This is good news from your allies of spirit. Whew. Welcome to this time of deep spiritual transformation. We ask you to trust your inner knowing and embrace your mystical nature. We, the angels, cosmic beings, ancestors, and allies of nature, are summoning the sacred ones, the prophets of this time, to remember your power and your sacred role. Many of you have unexplainable experiences and have been having them. We talked about it a little bit at the opening. You're seeing or feeling our presence. Your intuitive senses are opening. You are witnessing synchronicities. The animals are coming to you. The birds are communing with you. Some of you are even capturing our presence in photos and cameras as orbs, lights, or unexplained shapes or objects. As these experiences accelerate, please know this is a great blessing and a gift from your creator and your friends in spirit. We are your allies, and we are here to help you, as it has always been during times of great transformation. Many of you are hearing the call to deepen your relationship with nature and with the divine. Everybody take a deep breath with me. They're trying to come closer into your heart, so take a deep breath with me so that you can feel the truth of these words. Many of you are hearing the call to deepen your relationship with nature and with the divine. Please trust these instincts. Rest your mind and hearts. If you have been weary or afraid, we are here to strengthen you, our brothers, sisters, and siblings. Do not be afraid of your future or for your future, but embrace the beauty and the support of this moment. Open your heart and receive our love, our warmth, and our comfort now. Your medicine and collective power is sacred, and we offer you support as you walk your sacred mission. You are not alone, and you are more powerful than you know. So the prophets of this time, let's take a look cross-culturally at who the prophets were and are. A prophet is a person who is believed to have a special connection with the divine or supernatural or the supernatural realms, and it's able to convey messages or insights from that realm to others. In some cultures, prophets may be seen as messengers of gods or deities who are called upon to provide guidance, healing, wisdom, or warnings to their followers during big transitions. They may be revered as holy or spiritual leaders and may have a significant influence on the beliefs and practices of their communities. In other cultures, prophets may be viewed as individuals who possess exceptional knowledge or insight into the workings of the world or the human condition. They may be seen as visionaries or seers who can predict future events or offer prophetic guidance on how to navigate difficult situations. In the beginning, prophets often have wild stories of survival. They've beaten the odds, have come to the other side of them, and begin to share their wisdom and message with others. And a lot of times, what Spirit told me is that it could be very subtle. It could be just to your children or just to the checkout clerk at the store where you give a blessing, some kind of connection. I swear I'm not PMSing, crying again. Okay. When you actually make eye contact with a homeless person, when you're not propagating fear, and when you're building bridges instead of building walls. So where did all the prophets go? And the simple answer is nowhere. They're still here, and you could literally be one of them. And when I went through that definition, do you secretly feel that you are someone that's here to gift others sweet, good, hopeful medicine on some level? You may not know what you're doing. You may not even know for sure. Just like I didn't, like 13 years ago when I had that first miracle, I didn't know why all that crap was happening to me. But I kind of got a hint now. So many are still hiding out there because they don't remember who they are yet. Have you ever wondered why you've been shy or afraid to tell folks about your abilities, your special abilities, your sensitivities, your vulnerabilities, your mystical or spiritual interests and gifts? Do you resist coming out of the spiritual closet, even though you maybe have the secret life on the side where you're reading these amazing books and following these cool people, but like maybe your family or community, you just know they're not going to understand? You might feel like something bad is going to happen if you really show who you are in full color and you kind of start making claims that cannot be proven, but that in your heart. Maybe, you have a hard time. Maybe you see dead people, you talk to dead people, and still people don't know, or maybe you did as a child and your family kind of smacked it out of you because they were afraid of it. Or maybe in your community, it's evil to burn sage or do ritual or use crystals, but you're doing them in secret. I know so many people, I train people all over the world. I know so many people who are lighting candles in secret and talking to angels in secret, and talking to dead people in secret. And so I need to talk about the dang myths, okay? And where they came from and why you feel this way, why we're a little hesitant to reach out and tell people the truth about what we see. Just like when I first had a miracle and the angels were swarming me, and I'm trying to be a therapist one-on-one in a one-on-one session. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, tell me more about how your partner sucks. And then I feel all these angels come in with messages and healing for this person and for their relationship. So I struggled big time with these same myths, and knowing that people wouldn't understand, or at least believing or feeling like they wouldn't understand. So myth number one, New Age mysticism are woo-woo, crazy, or fringe. I was living that. I felt that 100%. Myth number two, shamanism, intuition, divination, mediumship are evil. We got that for a reason. And even if we're not religious, officially religious people, we still have absorbed some of this crap in our psyche. And it prevents us from really showing up how we came and why we came here to show up in full color, full spectrum, with big ass hearts, not afraid of our sensitivity, owning our sensitivity, our big hearts, and fighting for love. So a little bit about our dark history. The attack on the New Age, the mystical and shamanic practices is a relic of our colonizing ancestors' past. In the West, what is often camouflaged as modern evangelical Christianity is really a byproduct of colonization and white supremacy in disguise. Now, we don't know this. Many people don't know this because it's been generations of this crap. So that they just trust these middlemen, and that they're kind of, guarding the direct relationship with spirit, telling us that direct relationship is evil, telling us that direct relationship with our family members that have crossed over is evil. How can being in connection with our family be evil? None of this was Jesus's fault. There's specific doctrines that were designed by European kings and priests that began these coercive tactics and hateful tactics, like the doctrine of discovery that launched deadly campaigns against all people that would resist their conquests. Notice I didn't say resist their religion. It was resist their conquests. But because these kings wanted to take lands and their women and resources from innocent people all over the dang world, literally, that's why they developed these doctrines and from all over Europe, and they cruised all over the world with these doctrines. And I'm giving a small example. There's tons of stuff. But this one comes from January 8th, 1455, King Alfonso of Portugal. This was for him to conquer, or it's from him to conquer Africa. This is the beginning and beyond in the name of Christianity. So to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, and subdue all pagans whatsoever and other enemies of Christ, wheresoever placed, and the kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, dominions, possessions, and all movable and immovable goods whatsoever held and possessed by them, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery. So in a nutshell, they just are going to take all the shit from everyone blindly, call them the enemies of Christ and make them slaves, and to imply and appropriate to himself and his successors, okay, his brethren, his generations to come, the kingdoms, the dukedoms, the counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods, and to convert them into his and their use and profit. So this land right here that I sit on is a product of this doctrine. Generations ago, we stole these lands from the Ohlone people. And I give blessings to the Ohlone people and their ancestors every day when I go outside because of this. So who are the pagans? They are proclaimed to be the enemies of Christ, quote unquote. So they proclaimed essentially the entire world as enemies of Christ out of greed, not because of Jesus. It's not Jesus's fault, like I said. It's the king's fault. So the truth about the New Age is that New Age practices, channeling, angels, mediumship, energy healing, spirit communication, divination, crystal healing, all have been around for thousands of years. They're really new age. It's really old age, not new age. We forgot because we've been uprooted. We've been disconnected from our roots. We either live on colonized land. Many indigenous have been able to retain their ways. Thank goodness that they did. We didn't commit a full cultural genocide, just a 90% cultural genocide. But people like you and I, we're not created. We are born this way. We are born with this inclination. But the systemic oppression, marginalization, demonification, and attempted annihilation of this ancient wisdom wasn't God's will, was it? It was the king's will. It was the king's will. And I'd venture to say it was also his penis's will. And the king's will lives on today as long as we continue to buy into and perpetuate these myths against our very nature and these ancient indigenous practices that all of our people engaged in pre-Christianity. Every single one of us has roots deeply connected to the land. All of us, but we've forgotten. So those of us who wake up with some spiritual gifts, we're like, where the heck did this come from? Oh no, I gotta hide. I'm evil or whatever. But really, we have existed since the beginning of time, all people. But not all is lost. This deep wisdom still lives in our bones, in our ancestral bones, in our DNA, in our blood. Your knowing, your deep knowing comes from your people. So your prophetic and mystical gifts aren't fringe or demonic. They are essential for thriving and have been for thousands of years. In every generation, a prophet, an oracle, a seer, a healer, a channel, a medium, a shaman was born and revered by the village and community. And there was an elder there that would look at this child and see that they're talking to their imaginary friend, or that they happen to just know something about this tree or the sun, or they start bringing down some wisdom. How many of you had parents that were blown away at your wisdom? Maybe they were even a little afraid of you because it seemed like you would see right through their bullshit, okay? If you were in a different setting and in another era, you would have been revered, not outcasted. So I want to talk briefly about ways that you can reclaim your prophetic nature and reclaim your gifts and really get even more up-leveled, more clear on the kind of divine guidance that you're receiving. So a lot of you have even trained with me in the Angel Alchemy Academy. But all of us right now are up-leveling because this is the time. There's deep medicine bubbling up from the earth and from the cosmos. And we can receive this medicine if we open up the portals for this. And we make our claim. We make our bid for power. And we say, yes, I'm interested. I would like to understand more of who I am. And I would like to receive my next level of gifts. So one thing that we really have to look at, which is why I spent so much time talking about the way in which we have these old ways have been smeared. And it was not because they're inherently evil. It is because people wanted to take the people's power. The ruling class wanted to cut the people off at the knees so that they didn't have direct access and the deep spiritual power that comes with direct access. So you know how prophets are able to do miracles, change the weather, plenty of shaman out there doing that. Many of you have already performed miracles. I know you've trained with me, and I've witnessed so many miracles just in the time that I've been doing this work. So if you were the ruling class, wouldn't you want to disempower the people so you could steal from them? and you could brainwash what used to be good people into slaughtering folk for you. So we have to deconstruct. We have to deconstruct the fear and the persecution that lives inside of our ancestral memory. We have to transform it and turn it into our power, as opposed to not run away from it and deny it. We have to honor and respect our history so that we can honor and respect our full self and make amends with the land that you live on. It's alive and conscious, and it can support you if you make friends with it. So another way to reclaim is to take your intuition to the next level. And if you are new to intuitive work, but you're here, is because you're being guided to realize intuition is a real thing and you have this power inside of you. So many people that I've trained in the past had zero clues that they had intuition or that they were psychic AF. Okay. But the truth is, we all are. Okay. Some of us are just more dialed in. And when it's our time to come closer into the heart of who we are and closer into the heart of the mystery of who we are and where we are, we find out very quickly that when we ally up with angels, that our abilities begin to sparkle. So we need our intuition, especially right now, to help us navigate during these dark times where the moral compass and our North Star, our compass is kind of going around and around. It's like, what's north? Where do I go? What do I do? What do I even like anymore? Who am I? Wait, who the hell are you? I thought I knew you. Okay. We need a next level of guidance and need to truly learn how to become our own prophets. We need to learn and remember how to interpret the signs of nature, how to decode the symbols that we see over and over again. Those number patterns. I mean, there's a lot of things that you keep seeing over and over again. In the past, if you were cultivated and developed in a culture that embraced these things, you would already know what that means, who's connecting with you, and how to move forward in life, and how to turn these signs and symbols into good medicine, not just for you, but to the community that you serve and to your families. Dreams, omens. A lot of you are dreams, like you're dream people. You have prophetic dreams, but you don't realize they're prophetic dreams because you don't know that you got the prophet in you. So, so these are gifts gifted to you by spirit. They're not bad, so that you can be in powerful relationship and profound communication, yet again, with your angels, with your ancestors, and with your allies, as your ancestors were and did. This is truly how they thrived. So another thing you can do is you honor nature in a way deeper way, as if every little bit of it is alive and conscious and able to bring you medicine, able to share its gift with you, its gift from our mother with you and our father. Your ancestors, as I said before, they gave you these gifts all around the world. And people all over the world always honored their ancestors. It's only, again, after colonization that we were taught that that was evil. But there was a sinister plot behind all of that. So please, when it comes to working with ancestors, there's so many different ways to do that. But there is a warmth and a deep love that comes specifically with working with ancestors that is different than working with angels, but equally as beautiful. It's like having like just all your favorite family members, like just riled up. It's like having an audience of just badasses behind you with all of the good medicine, and they want to help you because you are seriously the culmination of all of their hard work. Do you understand that? You are literally a walking miracle in their eyes. You are their promise. You are why they worked so hard, struggled so hard, went through whatever they went through. And all of that power, all of that resilience, all of that resourcefulness is inside of you. But if we walk away and we don't realize and we're afraid, then we also walk away from our medicine, our ancestral medicine. So another thing that you can do is that if you got the medicine flowing, it really helps to start sharing it, even if you're afraid. And doesn't mean you have to do it to big masses, but when you feel the spirit inside of you moving you, and you feel like you got to say something that might feel a little awkward, like, oh, I see an angel around you. Okay. Gosh, I remember those days. That was horrible. Oh, such a hard wall to break through, but so worth it. Okay. So share your medicine, no more hiding, because what happens when you share your medicine is that you start inspiring others to look deeper inside of themselves. You give them intense hope. The world needs your input. They need your authentic input, not the bullshit, not the fake shit that you do to, I don't know, to fit in. Oh, how are you doing? I'm fine. Okay. Bullshit. Right? So the world needs your input, your love, your hope, your truth. Own your magic. Show compassion. Say what you know to be true. Speak out against any atrocities that you're seeing. You can protect the vulnerable and the innocent. A lot of us sit back because we're still trying to be nice. This is not the time for nice. This is the time for real, for authentic. Building bridges includes loving and supporting the inequities and the systems that are still in place from generations ago when the kings decided together to take over the whole damn world. They decided the rest of the world was the enemy. So we need you to be vulnerable, to be honest, and to learn to trust yourself and spirit. This is why the angels are coming to us so strongly and powerfully at this time, to inspire us and to give us support. Something that I want to say, because I want to try something with you right now, is that many peoples around the world believe that the source of a shaman, healer, or prophet's power is directly linked to the strength of the shaman's relationship or the prophet's relationship with their benevolent allies, meaning the more spiritual friends you make, the more spiritually powerful you become. When you learn how to build strong and authentic relationships with the angels, ancestors, and other allies that you're called to work with, your mystical gifts and your medicine multiplies. This is truly how the Red Sea was parted. This is how the indigenous can and do still change the weather. And this is why, if you've had beautiful, miraculous experiences, synchronicities, this is why they're happening to you, because you are connecting and consciously choosing to make friends. And I like to use friends instead of just allies. Allies sound so formal, but I'm telling you, it's more like friendships. It is beautiful, and it is what our starving spiritual belly is craving, but we just sometimes can't articulate it. So right now I want us to call in, and I know they're here because I can feel them, our allies. And I want you to take that first step with me to up-level your remembrance of who you are and your remembrance of your medicine. So breathe with me real quick. And we call on our highest, most benevolent, most sublime angels and other allies and helpful ancestors to come closer to our hearts. And you can close your eyes, and I want you to open up your senses. Do you feel, sense, or know that something beautiful is present with you. You may notice a shift in energy. Take a few breaths because sometimes that helps relax you. Relax your neck and shoulders. And you can even open up your arms, like palms up, open up your arms and let yourself receive. And when you get a sense of something, you can, right now, you can let them know you're ready to remember your power. You're ready to remember, and you can raise your hand and say, yes, I'm willing. I'm here for it. Because when you sign up for this kind of work, life gets unboring really fast. It truly can become a magical playground. And those of you who have read my books and have had experiences or have done some of my programs, you already know this to be true. Your life changes, the way you think about your life, the way you think about yourself changes, physical miracles begin happening, and more inspiration comes through on how you can serve your family, how you can be happier, how you can live in joy. So raise your hand, take a few breaths, say, yes, I'm ready to remember more of my power. Take a few breaths and let spirit do some healing work on you. And as they're doing healing work on you, or if you feel like you've made your proclamation, I'm going to start talking to you about, I don't even know what to call it. Some places I call it a workshop. Today I called it a project. It's nothing like anything that I've ever offered. And there isn't quite a word that establishes what I feel like it really is, because I do feel like it's the Allies project. It's our Allies project. And it's more like an initiation. But it is like a class. And it is spirit communication for the modern day prophet. You can look at reclaimyourspiritualgifts.com with me. It is a 3-part series. And so it's reclaim, just go ahead and check out reclaimyourspiritualgifts.com if you want to do it with me, reclaimyourspiritualgifts.com. And you can keep breathing, because even as I'm talking, your allies are going to help lift off some of the pain, some of the worry, and help anchor you back into your deeper root. And so I had to write out my notes for this because it's really important for me to touch on. It's new. It is 3 4-week classes. So 12 weeks altogether. Each class is only 4 weeks, and it is a series of classes that builds upon each other. However, it's possible for you to just take the first one. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. As I talked about, your mystical gifts are blessings. They're not curses. And spirit and your angels are ready to come closer to you and help you cultivate your spiritual power and remember the old ways of working in direct communion with the divine, with authority and with confidence and with trust that your life is blessed and that you're protected. So in these trainings, in these 4-week series, in order to help us all up-level our authentic relationship with the divine, I wanted to create this very first class called Divining Guidance, and it's called Prophetic Communication with your angels, ancestors, and allies. In this workshop, you'll enter into your ancestral memory and build the foundations of how historically people have opened up the lines of prophetic communication. We'll be working directly, and I'll be showing you and teaching you how to open up some of the secret earth portals, nature's portals, to help strengthen your allegiance to the angels, help you anchor in to the earth plane, essentially bring heaven into earth, and help you build stronger, more powerful relationships and allegiances with your angels and ancestors and the animals and all of those things. They all work in harmony together. They're not opposed to each other. They are different frequencies, different medicines from the same source, and they're here to support you and help you. So I work with, in this particular class, we're going to be working with the circle and the cross, and we're going to be, I'm going to be showing you how to receive more clear communication with your allies and how to dissolve some of this unconscious crap, these toxic myths and psychic interference that are blocking you, fear-based thoughts that are blocking you from really up-leveling your relationship with spirit, and stepping into your prophetic power. Something that is so fun about that particular class is that I'll be talking about instinct, which is a powerful medicine that we've been given, that we've relegated to the shadows as, oh, that's just our animal nature. It doesn't help us. It helps us. It helps us a lot. And I've been given the blessing of having this activation from spirit. And I want to help you crack the code on that too. This is a lot of the work that I do with others up in Shasta, but it is essential right now to help us reconnect to our ancestral roots, and to help you purify your relationship with spirit so that your body comes to life. Your light body comes into your cellular structure and really begins animating you. As in, spirit begins animating you, your divine spark comes to life, and it happens inside the body. So this first class is really designed about activating that, coming back to the earth. And instead of going up to angels, it's about bringing angels down into the freaking roots of the planet, into the rocks and the stones and the trees, and into your life. I mean, all those little creepy corners that we're dealing with. And so in class number 2, and I'll go through the next 2 a little more quickly. Class number 2 is about accelerating your spiritual gifts with the archangels. So I have been studying and working with the Tree of Life and the mystical Kabbalah for about 30 years. I have been secretly doing this in the background because you're not supposed to talk about these things, right? So this is my major framework, believe it or not, for really understanding enlightenment, illumination from a Western traditional perspective. A lot of us don't even know that even the West has a pathway to enlightenment and a pathway to becoming a prophet or a magician. And so in this particular class, I'm going to be using the framework of the mystical Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, which is an ancient Jewish mystical system, to show you and connect you with the archangels that specifically govern, we've known this for thousands of years, govern your mystical abilities, your four clairs, your clairvoyance, your clairsentience, your intuition. So I'm dropping down, not just, oh, let's open up our clairs, but I'm going to give you a system and a framework to work with so that you understand exactly the blueprint of how spirit goes from source, comes down through the ethers, through the planes of existence, through the dimensions, and lands directly in your body. And we're going to look at how to open up that portal directly with you in source and work with the archangels, which is what they're for. Archangels are here to illuminate us, to activate our minds. And yes, they help us kind of feel better in the beginning, but if you keep working with them, you will have no choice but to start stepping into your mission, and you will gain deeper wisdom, bigger heart openings, and things like this. So it is one of the most powerful systems that I've worked with in inducing initiation, inducing consciousness. And I'm not holding back in this series as far as for maybe the first time. This is me coming with all of my tools. Okay, so that's just class number 2. The last class is called Tools for Modern Prophecy. Okay, this one I'm so juiced about too. So, okay, Tools for Modern Prophecy and Divination, signs, symbols, dreams, ecstatic states. So in this one, you're going to learn how to decode the signs and symbols and your prophetic dreams, any omens that you're encountering, so that you can receive divine guidance with your spirit team. You're going to learn how to read and receive deeper layers of insight, even if you're masterful at the oracle cards or at divination. If you're masterful because of these activations and because there's new teachings coming through, you'll go and take it so much more deeply from the deeper soul level. And I like to teach. When I'm teaching, I always like to take it not to like the little day in and day out stuff, but straight to the source, straight to your soul mission and what spirit is communicating to you. Literally, your soul has been trying to get your attention. Your holy guardian angel has been trying to get your attention so that you can begin liftoff and following joy and living in deeper purpose. So, okay, this is probably part of my favorite part of the whole thing. Okay, cross-cultural methods to access ecstatic and trance states. This is one of the keys that many of us in the West have forgotten. And I'm going to talk to you about different ways that you can induce these states so that you can reinvigorate this powerful ancient practice to fuel your soul, experience joy, and reach higher levels of consciousness. That's the name of the game. So I'm also going to talk about the sage use of psychedelics and as powerful medicine and the various traditions who've worked with them. And this includes all over the world. It's not just Peru, people, all over, including Europe, to enhance and amplify your spiritual knowing, power, and your gifts. So we're going to be focusing on cultivating deeper relationship. Altogether, in this 3 series, we're focusing on cultivating deeper relationship, authentic communication with your angels and other allies. We're going to help you build the foundations for more prophetic communication, meaning just deeper, more clear, more communication, more confidence, more trust, more activation. So if you want to join me, and if you have been touched by the things that I'm saying here today, if this is new information or this is inspiring to you, if your body has had any shift, if you have kind of gotten emotional, you may have a sense that there's something here for you. The best I could do today was an hour. There's so much more. It took me hours to reduce this content down. And so over this 12-week series, I'm going to be dropping out some serious love bombs and tools to help everyone. We did it. Who's jumping in? Who's feeling it? Tell me who's feeling it here. Who wants to join me and to dig into this beauty? Oh, Nisa, I'm so glad you're joining us. Yay. I mean, whoever comes, I just know you're my people and they brought you to us. So I'm excited for you. I hope to see you there. And I really do hope that you take what I said today. Even if you don't join the class, please, you can go out and talk to a tree. Ask spirit to show you through nature. Ask the angels to show you through nature how real they are. Look at the sun. A lot of angels come down from the sun. Look at the sun and do a prayer and ask for the sun to light you up and to give you inspiration. And I just wish you all so much love and beauty. Keep moving and rocking your medicine. Do your dance, your special unique dance. Oh, Kathy, you're in. I'm so glad you're in. Do your unique dance, and I hope to see you soon.